In a day where sports cars have way too much horsepower, incredibly amazing amounts of torque, fancy dual clutch transmissions, and all the luxury every king the world over could ever have dreamt of, it's nice to know that there are cars out there that don't have any of that stuff. And most of the time, the only time you can really understand a car's passion is when it's going fast, when you're deemed irresponsible, when you're looked at as immature. But not the Scion FRS, because instead of lots of horsepower, fancy transmissions, instead of incredible opulent luxury, crazy amounts of torque, it just has a simple 200 horsepower and 151 pound-feet of torque. It weighs less than 3,000 pounds, has a simple 6-speed manual or 6-speed automatic gearbox, and is so much fun to drive, even though it's incredibly slow. And that's just fine with me, because the FRS gives me something more than any other car can. We've been spoiled with power. We've been spoiled with technology. Instead, maybe we should learn how to really drive our cars. The FRS could very well be that hero car of the 21st century.
But this car is the quintessential driving instructor. It really is like an E46 M3 or an E36 M3 or an Acura NSX. It's something that involves you more than almost anything else. You have a little more oversteer, power oversteer whenever you want it. It's not a very torquey motor, but it does a lot of what you want. And that's pretty cool, actually. I think more cars should be able to do that. These days, we're so hell-bent on power and torque figures and, ooh, how fast is it in a straight line? And sometimes we forget how fast it could be in a corner if it had wider tires or if it had better performance numbers in terms of aerodynamic qualities. And it's starting to get that way a little bit here and there, but some car companies have really lost that edge with adding weight. Notably BMW's M division, which is really sad. So when you look at a car weighing 2,800 pounds and only having 200 horsepower as not being a whole lot, it kind of is a lot when you get behind the wheel and feel the actual abilities, so to speak, the passion, the enthusiasm. That's where you understand that you don't have to have 1,000 horsepower to enjoy it. Oh, should turn traction control off. But anyway, still, you have a lot of fun. Now, as you see, I'm swapping cogs here myself with the paddle shifters, which actually work pretty well. The car does Rev-Match well when you downshift, and upshifting is pretty quick. I mean, it's decently fast for a car that is only $26,000. 26 grand for this car. And it is a pretty fast car. It's brisk. It really is. In the corners, it is, I wouldn't say blisteringly fast, but it is incredibly fun and ridiculously agile. With the FRS, you get a lot of oversteer whenever you want it. You control it very easily. Just a little extra throttle and a little more turn in, you know, when going into a corner, and you can get it sideways very easily. And it's a little disconcerting for some people that don't necessarily know how to counteract, you know, when those things happen, especially in rainy conditions or wet conditions outside. It's not the greatest or the easiest for some people. But as a car enthusiast myself, I rather enjoy it because it's a lot of control. I have a lot of say in what the car does and what the car doesn't do. And that's nice to finally have. As some of you know, I drive a 2007 911 Carrera S as my normal everyday driver. And that car, I love the pure experience that it gives you. The 911 for the last 50 years has been one of the most pure driving experiences. And that's the initial message of the FRS. It's very pure, very clear cut in the fact that it's just good. It's just very good. Steering is a little light, but very communicative. The ride is a little firm, but allows you to control the chassis, okay? You understand what's going on. You can feel things within milliseconds of them happening. And that's really quite fantastic, because there aren't a lot of electronic gizmos and nannies, you know, trying to do it all for you, and you have no idea what's going on because they don't care about you. It doesn't matter who you are. You could be Michael Schumacher and you're still a crap driver to those computers. This car puts the confidence in you. You are a hero in this car. This is a hero car. This is another E46 M3. And this is one of those cars. This is just, God, it's one of the best cars I've ever driven. It's one of the most thrilling experiences because when you throw it into a corner, it just goes right into it. You get a little rear end play and you get to enjoy that. You get to actually just balance it yourself. You get to put it on that fine line of creativity with you and the automobile. Now, some of you out there are like, oh my God, he's getting a little weird here. But it's a balancing act. You enjoy this car. You go to point A and B in this car and you find a C and a D. You find a way to keep going because you enjoy everything that there is to enjoy about this car. It makes you want to drive, and that's fantastic. However, I'd like this car to have a little extra firmness out of the suspension in the FRS in particular. The FRS is, this car's $26,000. With that, you don't get navigation, but you do get Bluetooth. You do get satellite radio if you want to, and that's, you know, so there are a lot of people out there that are like, I don't need navigation, I'll just get a Garmin system, and that's fine. And that's great for most people. And in most cases, I would agree with that. Just go ahead and get something that you can update for a few $100s and not have to worry about it. Cabin is well appointed, it's comfortable in here. It's definitely a tight fit for most people, but it's comfortable and it works as a daily vehicle. The back seats, if you have kids, they better be really young and really small. I mean, that's just an honest answer. If you need the trunk space, there's not a whole lot to go around, and pack lightly. That's all I'll say. Or put the rear seats down, or just put stuff on the rear seats. So there you go. Sound system in this car is okay at best. It works. You can use it, but pump it up and you're getting a lot of treble, a lot of you get a lot of defiance in the speakers. They don't really want to they do not want to work well at high volumes, which is, it's a $26,000 car, but most people that are buying this car are going to be spending a lot of time in it, and they're going to be listening to the radio quite a bit. They're not going to be listening to the engine or exhaust note because while it's okay, it's not the best thing of the car. It's good. It's really, really good. Enjoy it. Go out and get one and enjoy one, because they're so much fun to drive. And just, I know of guys that are putting these in their driveways and in their garages with their Lamborghinis and their Ferraris and their McLarens. This is just one of the most pure things this side of the McLaren F1.